Oh, it's a double episode day today. Still cloudy. I don't know what's going to happen. I put this thing on. I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? Hello. Oh. I have drawstring pants. Shut up. A lot of people got drawstring pants. Yeah, I dress like I'm this many. All right. Let me show you how I'm living. This is how I'm living. What are you going to do? Today is a double episode day. This is, look what I'm reduced to now. I'm on a budget. I want a coffee so bad. Even, like cans of coffee, they're upwards of like $5, you know? And it's like, if I had $5, I would just go get a Starbucks. That's where I go. But $5, I go to Starbucks. What am I going to do? All right. So I came uptown. I'm going to be working, as usual, in the library. My license is good for the next 3 years. I do look for work, but I'm waiting to find something where I could write and work at the same time. It's not going to be easy. Oh, that's the end. I might as well kill it, guys. I might as well kill it. I'm up in West Hollywood today, and I got all my stuff with me in case they tow my car. Because I've been homeless before. I don't really care. I don't run with the set and all this kind of like ridiculous stuff. I'm not a child. We shouldn't be acting like children. I got guys at the one of the last places I worked, you know, just acting like assholes. You know, it's unforgivable. And, you know, like I said, I talk about the things that happened to me in 2018 because it's very much like not the Grievance Committee. It's very much like a Clockwork Orange, right? Where I'm being tortured by the state. Is what I'm talking about. Okay? I might be going to Twitter. I don't know. It seems like it's more of a free speech platform. I've transcended a lot of things. I'm not going to say too many outrageous things. I don't really care. You know what I mean? I explored a lot of interesting themes for years and years and years, and it just seems like things are getting segregated. It's very bizarre how segregation could go on, but they're like, no, this is elitist segregation. I'm like, okay. It's a different kind of segregation. It seems very bizarre to me. But I want to talk a little bit about what I've been reading as far as Gnosticism is concerned. And it reminds me, in case you don't know, I started studying the Bible as soon as I learned how to read. So I'm a child. I'm like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and we're going to church and they're talking about the Bible. So obviously I'm curious. And I start looking into this wondrous text, and it's still with me. You know, my whole life. I talk about things from my childhood, and I'm showing them in terms of a term that I borrow from Nietzsche, an eternal recurrence, and terms that I borrow from Freud about the Oedipal myth, right? And they knew that postmodernism was coming in, and they knew that they had to redefine these terms that were ancient, tried, and true. And they had to readopt them and adapt them to modern times. And they did. They did a terrific job. But we're heading into another future, a tech future. And that's why I created Surfing the Eggieverse, because everybody has been online and all of a sudden you're getting struck with something very negative. Okay? This has happened to all of us. You can't deny it. So something is wrong. I don't want to say stuff like the Matrix. Hey, there's a glitch in the Matrix. You guys have heard this stuff before. Gavin McGinnis is over there saying, "Hey, kids, get off my lawn." I'm like, fuck's sake. You know what I say? I say we were born in the BC era before computers. Oops, I can't cuss. Damn it. Boy, I tell you. Yeah. Damn's in the dictionary. Or, I mean, damn's in the Bible. Yeah, we used to say that. What was it? I meant a river dam. That's the same thing with this graffiti in my neighborhood. When I was doing graffiti, you're like in high school. You know what I mean? It's really not very intelligent. I wouldn't play into it too much. But everything is knowledge through data discovery. And so every time you clicky, swipey, scrolly, and likey, I believe it's affecting the AI that's ascribed to you, right? Because I was being tortured, and it was specifically on Facebook. People that I knew had fake accounts on Facebook. And it was hellish. It was like hell. Like I said, if you want to go around spray painting graffiti, that's your business. I mean, I think it's rather weak. I always did. I overlooked a lot of things for a lot of years. I overlooked people being in my computer back when I was married. I overlooked it. I knew it was people that I knew. I overlooked a lot of things, but I have my own show now, and I'm going to talk about what I want. I might go to Twitter. I don't know. I really don't have time, just to be honest with you. I told you guys that you would have to start paying to be on Facebook. You're going to have to pay to be on Facebook. You're going to have to pay to be on, you already have to pay to get a alleged check mark, right? They want this knowledge through data discovery, but they want this classism online, electronic classism. I wrote a song called Underclass because I knew it wasn't about race, it was about class. And what helped me with that struggle was bands like The Clash and, you know, Rock Against Racism. Sham 69 were there. My band opened up for Sham 69. We only did 2 shows, Buzzcock, Sham 69, and Social D. Like, those were the only shows we were allowed to do. And, you know, basically we were kind of marginalized and kicked out of the scene. There was, like, you know, a lot of bands at the time. I told you about some band. They were called the Scraps. They sounded just like the Misfits. They were very derivative. We had an original sound. I just had some salami and some potato chips. It's like 9 in the morning. I eat salami and potato chips. Tastes great. Yeah. I'm on a budget. At least I feel good as far as my health is concerned. That's all I care about is my health. And again, if something happens and I pass away, oh well. I died in 1999. I never told anybody. I was on the set with many A-listers. I never told anybody. I never said anything. If a conversation naturally came up, then I would talk about a lot of things. But it never does, because usually the people that I used to be around, who I'll never be around again, are busy running their mouths and bragging about what they're doing. Okay, well, yeah. Good luck with that, because you're going to need it if I ever run into you again. And I'm talking about very specific people. I took all my songs, and they're going to be under Linoleum Blown Apart. People that I knew were involved in this, trying to steal songs, and like, mine have already been stolen, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the story behind that. Sorry, got distracted. They got this construction going on, so I kind of came over here a little bit. I hope it's not too distracting for you, but we'll make it kind of quick today. I just wanted to talk about some things. I'm such a more eloquent writer than I am. Like, I'm so filled with malapropisms and like mistakes and just messing things up. I think I think in the title of my last video, I put into instead of into as one word. Put it as 2 words. But that's okay. I keep going. I don't really care. I don't care. All my writing, always check the description. Always check both channels. I got people watching both channels, so thank you very much. I have to do my laundry, so I'd appreciate it if I could get $5 through PayPal. That would be awesome. $5 or $10. I can get another coffee. I'm out of coffee. That's why I said I have to reduce down to these cheap drinks. But understand something. If I go to the store and I got a 20-ounce Starbucks, it's twice the money. I would pay twice as much. That's just a fact. To buy it myself on my card through EBT, through SNAP benefits. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It costs twice as much. This whole system's out of control. And people just tolerate it. Like I said, when I was coming up, we just tolerated marijuana being illegal. We were afraid running the streets, going over here, getting ripped off, going to dope dens. Oh, we don't have marijuana. We got some other stuff. Did you want to try that? Well, I'm here. Came all the way here, didn't I? Right? Anyway, so I just noticed a lot of things when I'm reading this Gnostic text by Angelenos, and I was going to get it. That there's a lot of correlation with this pre-Christianity, and I believe that they basically, Christianity was the first globalism. That's why they were trying really hard for like communism and all these other postmodern isms to come in, socialism, communism, fascism, okay? Because they meaning the people who were involved in this, already conquered the world with Christianity. Okay, then they began to conquer here, the New Atlantis, okay? And everything is about these boundary stones and this staff, right? You have a lot of them talking about their staff, right? And this is very rich metaphor. It's like you're claiming your land. You're claiming this land. This is my staff. These are my stones. And I believe when they're talking about stoning an individual, right, that leads itself to something like Freemasonry, where you start off as a rough hewn stone and you keep polishing it and polishing it and polishing it and polishing it. And by the end of your life, it's your gravestone. It looks really great. Terrific. You mastered it, right? And so this is a lot of what the Rosicrucians were talking about. Now, don't forget, you have the staff, you have the cross, the rosy cross. You have the rose, which is the perennial, right? Comes back every year, right? And that's why they were attempting to change Christianity. Nietzsche tried changing it by just going straight to another source, which is Zoroastrianism. Very similar in nature, very similar, like the Mithra religions. These are very similar to Christianity too. And so you have this notion where you fall downward, right? So a long time ago, you'd look up to the sky, you'd see the sky, you're born on a certain day. You have the movable stars and the fixed stars, okay? And so these movable stars are called planets. That's what the word means through etymology. And the Esoterica channel and Angela's Symposium, one of their last videos, they dealt with etymology. I'm sure they have in the past, but I made sure to put that in the comment section because that's what I go by. I go by, I speak Americanese, but sorry, but that's how I piece things together, right? I don't do it mathematically. You could do it magically. You can go that route. Start getting into quantum physics. Quantum means to count. That's what that means. So it's not some far out detail. And by the way, I did check out Gary Lockman, and he did this great dissertation. Maybe I'll put it in the comment section. Nobody comments, nobody participates in my show, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. But he brought us right up to simulation and simulacra. A lot of people mention this book. I claim bollocks on that. I'm not going to buy in that we're in any kind of simulation at all. I go back to the ancient traditionalists. I believe, what you see is what you get. By the way, that song is on my playlist. Check out my playlist on the Grievance GOrDIE channel. Please and thank you. Please donate. But we're talking about the stars, and we're talking about the movable stars and the fixed stars. Okay, so this is the importance of astronomy. Is astronomy? Astrology, I meant to say. Damn it. Astrology, right? Because these stars are moved. They move around. And on the day you're born, they're in that position. And those stars would be the planets. Those planets, there's only 5 of them, right? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. That's it. And then you have the moon and the sun. That's the 7 heavenly bodies, right? like the 7 holes in your head. You got the 7 heavenly bodies. And anyway, so on the day you're born, right? That's why in astrology, that's why they attribute those archetypes to that person who's born in that time. Okay, and that's why Carl Jung kind of grasped onto that, and he moved more into the occult, right? Where Sigmund Freud created a cottage industry. He made it more scientific, right? He tried to turn it. They were really, part of it was trying to turn philosophy into science as well. So you have these ancient mystical texts, you have Christianity, Gnosticism, and other religions, and you have mythology. And you could see that there's a there. You could see that until Christianity conquered the world, or the Romans used Christianity to conquer the world, right? That's part of their psyop. There's nothing wrong with psyops. It's a psychological operation. That's what most things are. Any commercial that you look at, any advertising, right? We all know that Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, and that his part of his kin, I think it might be his nephew, is running Netflix right now. Okay, so this is all carrying over from propaganda, psychology. It's basically all the same thing. It could be used nefariously, or it could be used to sell you some Gucci shoes. Right? Right? You know what I mean? If you're a materialist, we're all materialists. Look, here's my materialism right here. I got my glasses, my bag. I got my tent. I always have my tent and stuff with me now. They're getting ready to take my car, and I'll be sleeping in the tent outside. And any donations you guys want to give would be great. So here you're born. That's where they get these archetypes from. Okay? If you want to be a Christian, you can be a Christian. I'm just talking about Gnosticism, early Christianity. Okay? This all came from somewhere. They married the Septuagint with the New Testament. Right? That's what they did. And they created the Holy King James, which is, for me, it probably comes from the Latin Vulgate. I'd love to see the Latin Vulgate, but Latin is a created language. It didn't exist. The only people who spoke it were the elite class. Right? Check out Robert Seffer's channel. He's right here on YouTube. I am YouTube exclusive. I might be going to Twitter, but like I said, it's like a full-time job. Robert Seffer, they were talking about certain people finding out their DNA strands. I can't remember which one offhand, but they're finding that they're people from other places. They weren't the common people. They were known as tyrants, right? They would be tyrants, and they would come to other areas, and they would rule that area. Well, how would they do it? Well, for me, it would be like when they said the apostles or the disciples were doing miracles with their hands. Well, what miracle could that be? Well, it could probably be writing things down, right? Writing things down as opposed to memorizing it, right? Oh yeah, Gary Lockman was talking about there's a new studies about the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain, and how you have to have that balance. Remember, we always talk about balance here. It's all about balance. Reading, writing, and arithmetic is the left side of your brain, and it corresponds to your right hand. The left side of the brain and corresponds with your right hand. And then all the artistic stuff, the memorization, the songs, the part that I'm used to is the right side of my brain, and it corresponds to the left hand, or what? The left hand path, right? We're sitting on the right hand of God the Father. You're sitting on the right hand, which is the left side of the brain. This is the God of the Holy King James, the God of reading, writing, and arithmetic. We are writing these things down. You're going to study this. These are the scribes. We're going to write all this down, and we're going to hand it out to you. Okay, well, they created a priest class. Oh, that's what it was. It was the Brahmin priest class of India. Now, don't forget that the they call it PIE, Proto-Indo-European language. They were on the outside. Those were the Aryans. And then coming closer to the Fertile Crescent were the Scythians, right? And then you have the Fertile Crescent. Then you have the cradle of civilization right there. And you have the merchants and the ships on the sea. That's where, I don't know where I'm going with that. But anyway, so I wrote something really eloquent. It's in my notes. Maybe I'll try to copy and paste it in this episode. So you can see that that's what they were talking about. They were talking about these same archetypes that Carl Jung got from reading these same Gnostic texts. This same occult material. We are living now in the apocalypse. That means the lifting of the veil. That's what apocalypse means. Okay? We are in that. There are no more secrets, as anyone can attest to. I know I certainly can. Like I said, people I've known for 30 and 40 years were like spying on me through my computer, but they did much worse. They actually cranked up the algorithms, and I was so confused, I had to go and try to get a CAT scan. I was going to get a CAT scan, and my wife was gaslighting me, she was taking me to the doctors, and because they were convinced that I would never figure this out. I knew something was going on, but I know to keep my mouth shut, and I did for quite a long time. So, you're like, yeah, you can do that right now. Anyways, I had a little more verve earlier on, but it's like I'm hungry. I had to eat a little bit. I want to finish eating. I just wanted to talk about this whole notion of the stars and where the stars are aligned, and these create the archetypes. So this can all be actually used to create a new type of religion, okay? Now, I'm going to be writing Linoleum Blown Apart for the next year. It's going to be really pretty tough. It's pretty detailed. But what I also do is I take notes, and these notes go into what's going to be known as the ascended descendancy. And these notes might turn into a futuristic. Now, don't forget, I have the property. It's called We Are Martian. And We Are Martian is about us going to Mars and living there for 1,000 years. For how many? That's like 3 generations or something like that. Right? It's like 3 generations. We can go there and live for 3 generations. So it's almost like Dune, really, when you think about it. And you have all this rich backstory to kind of fill in. But I think, with Linoleum Blown Apart, it will be what I'm writing, and you'll watch it. It will go on. It will be televised. Okay, that revolution will be televised, my friend. You will watch this show. I'm an old punk rocker, and there are people my age who want to hear this music. It's not going to be all oi punk or pop punk. There's going to be a little bit of D-beat in there. I can write different styles, and then it's going to go into just regular rock and roll grunge, because they're going to be a pop band. And most of the people, by the time this thing comes out, it's going to be 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, anyways, I could get it done a lot quicker. And by the way, sorry, stuff in my house. Yeah. Yellow matte custard. Sorry. I got a sample of Chat GPT, and I put in a couple log lines from Linoleum Blown Apart. It came out with the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I've ever read. I put in just a few log lines. Maybe I'll do an episode like that. A few log lines from Linoleum Blown Apart that were like straight up. It's like, yeah, there's a guy in a punk band. He's got the same birthday as Napoleon, and he starts to form this Napoleon complex. That's what they call it. There is a Napoleon complex, right? And so I put all these in. I put in like 3 log lines into Chat GPT, and what it spit out was horrific. It was like I would never want to watch that. It has nothing to do with what I'm writing. So it made me feel good. It gave me really a lot more confidence in going forward with my project. Nobody can write like me. Nobody can think like me. I don't care if it's chat GPT or not. It's impossible. The wonders that I can imagine with my mind and this project are going to be incredible. I actually saw somebody, I don't know who they are. I watch I highly recommend Doorbell News, and I highly recommend, I can't think of what the other one is. It's just paparazzi people chasing people around. I don't know who anybody is. Like I said, I know who the Kardashians are, but when I look around me and I see women who try to dress like them, I call them car crashians. But I watched Doorbell News, and I saw this guy. I think he was, I don't know if they're a rapper or a sports star. I would have to look them up, and sometimes I don't have time. But he had a Nirvana jacket on. Okay? Like I said, things work in cycles, just like the sky. That's why the movable stars, which are the planets, were in a fixed place on the day you were born. And attributed to those fixed stars were archetypes, personality types. All this stuff is actually used in psychology. So it's not a haka-hooey. There is a there. And here I am, right here. Thank you very much for watching my show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know.